Welcome on in my Ashwings to another Project Blue video where we're taking a look at one of the new heroes from High Seas, Puffin. Now, I don't normally touch Mechanologist a whole lot outside of Dash Inventor Extraordinaire, effectively being probably the best Mechanologist in the format at the moment. But I wanted to go ahead and see what Puffin had, right? What does the pirate class effectively do for a Mechanologist to kind of give them another edge on top of being just a mechanologist themselves? So I wanted to dive into the deck real quick, kind of go over the general idea of it, and then kind of test it in Talishar to see whether or not we actually get some good synergy with this. Now, of course, this is my very first build of the deck, so please be kind when looking at the build. And also feel free to give any tips in the comments down below. I'd be more than happy to take a look and see what y'all are cooking with. But Puffin here, more specifically, that beautiful bird right there. I know this is Puffin, but this little baby Polycranka is the star of the show. You tap Puffin to destroy a gold you control and then create a golden cog token. Second time you crank each turn, you draw a card. Now, there's a very easy way to get a lot of gold in Limited with Puffin because you're able to still, when you deal damage on Treasure Island, if Treasure Island's got enough counters, you get that gold. You're able to turn that gold into golden cogs. You don't have Treasure Island in Project Blue, and so being able to make that gold is just a tad bit more difficult than you would normally expect. So what we did instead is we kind of took a quick look at a lot of the other cards that we had in here and kind of utilized it as a way to almost bluff our opponent into stuff that we're able to do here. So what I'd done is we're running the Cogworks Blunderbuss. This is just because you can attack with it. I'm thinking in a perfect world, you should probably play something like Tectoplasma Pistol instead. But this does have an opportunity to have it go again if you're trying to go a little bit wider. So being able to shoot this and then give it go again and then come in with a larger attack to kind of end off the chain might be a little bit more effective in that regard. But that's why we're keeping it for now, although I think Tectoplasma Pistol might be the better bet there. We're then also playing Bladebacker Helm, Rust Belt, Teklo Base Arms, and Unicycle. This will make sense when we take a look at this, Evo Cog Spitter. So I'm actually running Evos in this deck. The reason being is because we do want to block a little bit more. But with Evo Cog Spitter, if you have base arms equipped, you transform this. So your base arms are in fact Teklo Base Arms. And then once per turn instant, you can destroy a card under this and put an item with cost 0 or 1 from your hand into the arena. And so essentially it being an instant, what this gets to do is it allows you to put an item, your copper cogs, into the arena for no cost. You don't have to worry about cranking them or anything of the sort. It's an instant speed ability to allow them to be on the board for significantly longer. Now, I don't love copper cog, frankly, but I think getting the gold generation is going to be significantly harder than just putting cogs inside of your deck. They're also blue, so they do pay for a lot of these really powerful attacks, such as Cloud City Steamboat, Battalion Bark. You also have cards like Cogworks Zeppelin, and even Goldwing Turbine cost 2. So being able to create these opportunities to kind of really pump up your cog generation. Obviously, in the rare chance in which you draw 4 of these, you can at least crank them all. You're going to have to take some damage. You got to hope it's not at the end of the game, but it is a no block. Items are just no blocks, so it's going to be kind of rough. We are running something like Wage Gold, though, which is, again, this is where like the pseudo thing comes in. We're not really focusing too much about gold generation and then creating golden cogs. The cogs we get out are going to be great, right? If we do get golden cogs, that's perfect. But the real kicker here is we are going to try and trick our opponent into thinking that what we're doing is trying to go wide with stuff. But instead, we want to go tall. With Cogworks Zeppelin and Cogworks Steamboat, you can tap a cog you control to give these either +1, or they just get +1. You tap a cog you control, it gets +1. So you can play this, the red one here. If you have 2 cogs out, you can tap them both to have this come in for 8. You can do the same thing for this one here to have it come in for 8. The good thing is that if these hit, this one will have you can tap a cog, and if you do, put a steam counter on a cog you control, And then Cogwork Zeppelin says when this hits, you may tap a cog you control, and if you do, create a golden cog. So there are ways for you to create these cogs throughout the course of the game, but you're normally just going to want to try and come in very tall with these attacks, and that's where Pummel also comes into play. Pummel, this is a great target for any of these boats because your opponent's going to block effectively to try and mitigate a little bit of that damage, maybe only take 2 instead of taking 8. And when that happens, you can go ahead and then pitch to obviously hit them with the Pummel. Pummel will do super well into this match because it'll rip more cards from your opponent's hand. It'll allow you to keep those cogs on the board and get their on-hit abilities, and again, keeping the tempo in your favor. We're also running things like Sky Skimmer, which is just a nice little, 0 for 5 or a go again. Soup Up is for in case you see any of these cogs get destroyed at the beginning of your turn. Soup Up will get go again, so you can very well make a very wide turn with that. We're even playing cards like Strike Gold, which is a 0 for 4, but if it hits, you create a gold token, which you can then, of course, create a golden cog for. So very much so, a ton of opportunity to get that back. You can even attack with Strike Gold, have it hit, create a golden cog token, or create a gold, have Puffin create a golden cog token, crank it, get your action point back, and continue your combat chain. So a little bit of a pseudo way to go about doing it. But we're then looking into the sideboard here. Oasis Respite, Performance Bonus, Unmovable, and Springboard Somersault. These are probably going to be more for those like go tall builds, really, where you want to have a little bit more defensive capability while you're trying to set up these really big attacks. Oasis Respite being for the wizard matchups, Performance Bonus for being against like Guardians, where they are going to want to, it's going to be hard for them to block multiple of these larger chains. And then, of course, the 3 Null Rune for the wizard matchup. So let's go ahead and run a game real quick here with this Puffin build and see whether or not she's got what it takes to take on the high seas in this Project Blue match. All right, so we've got a Lexi we're going into right now for our match into the Project Blue here. I think we pretty much just keep everything here, I'd say. Maybe we can probably get rid of putting in unmovables and getting rid of the Wage Vigor. And then I think we're going first, so let's just set it up and see what happens here. Give them the good luck, have fun. And then we're just going to go ahead and kind of send this here. Let's see what we've got. We've got a cog we can make. We can crank said cog. We can even go ahead and just do this too. So that might be something that's kind of fun. Is we do copper cog. And then I think I will choose to crank it. I will then play Evo Cog Spitter, giving myself a little bit of a boost. And then since I have no action points, I can go ahead and then just put this Cloud City Steamboat to my arsenal, and then we'll pass it on over. So I guess they must have had to do something on their end. So I will go ahead and do this. They're going to use the Honing Hood. And face down into Arsenal. Okay, I see. So that way they load. So they are going to keep something loaded. We're going to go ahead and just do that. We will pass. And then we will put the Steamboat into our arsenal and then pass it on over. So far, I know that Puffin does a lot of stuff in regards to like, probably not going to block very well. And Snapshot here definitely tells me the same. Death Dealer Snapshot just is so good. Activate abilities of bows you control an additional time as though they were an instant. So you already have 2 Death Dealer shots. This one is notably not coming in for go again, oddly enough. I think it might be best here that I just send... I'm almost willing to not do anything here. No, I mean, we should probably, like, prevent some damage. No, wait, stop. This. That's what I want. That's better. So no go again on that front, so we don't really have to worry about doing anything specifically in that regard. They're going to load still, but again, they don't have go again. I don't know how they'd give this go again outside of maybe, like, Rain Razors? Are we going to get Rain Razored? I'm sorry. You know what? They did have Go again because they flipped up a lightning arrow. Is that what that is? No. How did they get Go again? I'm so confused. 4 here is probably pretty okay. Again, I kind of just want to block out. Let's prevent them from doing anything here. So, block out some of that damage. We don't want them to go super wide. I still don't know how that got Go again. That's still blowing my mind. Okay, so now they have no load. So we're just going to go ahead and they're going to pass it on over to us. We've got a copper cog, so we can just go ahead and continue to send some stuff here. I do wish to remove a copper cog or a steam counter. I will then go ahead and just simply... Now what I can do is I can tap the cog. That's actually not a terrible idea. I can use the ability, tap a cog, and then I can send Blunderbuss with Go again into Boat. That way we're just kind of threatening a little bit more here. So 2 damage, not terrible. Gives them a little bit of an advantage in that front, but I will then go ahead and maybe just send this. So just 6 damage. No real pumps or anything. I think it's going to be kind of hard for us to get the to get a ton of value off of our gold generation, right? I mean, we have ways to make golden cogs, but we're not exactly utilizing them a lot. So this is kind of an interesting hand, although it's not going to work at all. So unfortunately, we could have used like a blue here. Like this, if this was a blue, this was like a completely different turn, but unfortunately not the case. So we have an Electrify coming in. Electrify from Arsenal. So this is going to have Go again. 3 with Go again. Attack action card hits, it deals 1 damage to them. Played from Arsenal, draw a card. I think at the end of the day, like, we're probably fine just sending a lot of blocks here. We do kind of want to play like more Guardian focused, I think. Just because we want to utilize these pummels and like unmovable and stuff. So even if our turn is just like keep going with some other stuff. Okay, so they'll load. Swift shot, that's kind of cool. It's going to have Go again, but you're not going to have any way to do anything there. I mean, if it hits, it deals 2 damage to me. Do I care? No, I don't think I do. I don't actually think this matters. Because even though it's got Go again, that's fine. They'd have to destroy their arm piece. So, I mean, if I take 5 here, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, we're not dealing with any kind of dominate in this situation, so they are cracking their arms. Okay. Bolton shot. Interesting. I still don't know what you're doing. I mean, effectively, you're just like sending more damage, right? 8 damage with Go again. So we can block. It sucks because like we could have theoretically kept this card. But if we block 3, 5, 7, 8. Deny the reload. Just chucking a movable in Arsenal, I think we'll be in a good spot. So yeah, I think it'll be fine. Yeah, because putting in a movable Arsenal is going to be in a good spot. So And then they use their arm piece, so like they're down on like equipment already. I think we might be in an okay spot here. So there comes a Lace with Blood Rot. We don't have another Bolt Shot, right? Yeah, that's it on red Bolt Shots. So it's an interesting build here, I think. I'm almost curious if we're going to have a situation where this is... There's no way you're just ending your turn. Okay, you're undoing it. I see. So you're playing Lace. Then you're attacking with Infecting Shot for 8. I guess I can just pitch this here and then maybe send 6. Yeah, this is like really good here, actually. So I could actually probably... I could probably just send 2. Because I want to keep the reds in deck, considering we have so many more blues. Let's just do... Well, I mean, this allows me to send 6, so I think we're in an okay spot. So you got the immovable there. That was really clutch that we got to save that in there. Again, Ranger just tends to do pretty well being able to go tall. And we're effectively just going to try and like pseudo-fatigue them effectively. We could theoretically do this. We don't have a way to tap a cog because we don't have cogs. So I think I might actually just do this and still. I think I might just do that and keep an arsenal. That might be the better call here. So just send 2. They're just going to comfortably take 2. Easy. It's kind of what we want out of this. So now we can go ahead and pass. We know there's a blue underneath here for that Zeppelin. Add this to arsenal and pass. Lexi gets to flip up and electrify. So we don't have any more really armor to deal with, which is kind of feels bad, but not the end of the world. Okay, Death Dealer. We're going to get a snapshot. Yep, snapshot. So this is kind of more of a go wide build here. Sometimes go tall, but mostly go wide. So 4. 4 if it hits 5. Right, the next time an attack action hits. Theoretically, we can just take 2 here. We don't really have a way for us to do much else, I think. So we're just going to do that. We're just going to block 3. The plan for Puffin here definitely is not what I think most would expect in regards to the fact that you're normally with Puffin, you'd want to make a whole bunch of gold and then utilize that gold to make golden cogs. But you also don't want to play too many yellows. I mean, I'm playing a decent amount of yellows. But you want to play things like golden tipple, being able to go a little bit wider. So this is for 2. I could say I don't care about this, but I probably should care a little bit about it. Let's go ahead and just block. No, we want to kind of try and fatigue him, so we might take a little bit more damage here. It's fine. They do have, notably, I still don't know. Am I losing my mind here? Whoop, shit. Sorry. Yeah, Frazzle. Am I losing my gourd? How did they get go again? Does Snapshot get go again? I'm just like losing my mind. I'm just sitting here like there's no way they're able to get go again, but I know Lexi, if she turns a face up, a lightning card face up, she gets to do it. 8. Okay. I think there's a world in which maybe we just still does that much +1. I think we maybe just block. No, we'll block 9. That's fine. I don't mind blocking 9. I think my thing is I'm just trying to figure out how the hell they're getting their action points back. I must be just missing it. Obviously, tell me in the comments if I'm just missing it. But like I could swear. So 3 cards are going to go back in the deck. Come on. What's happening? What's happening here? Why are we stuck on this? Come on. Come on. There we go. Weird. Oh, they were just choosing a card to arsenal. I'll just pass. I'll hope that I draw into one of these pummels. Okay, well, I drew into 2 no blocks, so this is going to suck, especially on a red electrify turn, so not going to love this for me, but we will see what we get. Electrify. They have 5 cards in hand. Yeah, that's crazy. So, yep, snapshot. This might just kill me here. So this will go again. We could block this, right? We could just comfortably probably block this. So that way we're not taking too much damage, right? Load another thing. Buzzbolt for 5. Fuse whenever attack hits this hero, deals 1 damage to them. Okay. Then send Buzzbolt. No additional power. So, interesting. So we can double crank draw a card. So theoretically, I could save this, right? I could double crank, draw, and give 3, take 2. But I can't guarantee what I'm going to get is going to be good. So I think we should probably still block here. Again, we're trying to like fatigue-esque, so they're not going to have another like action point here. I'm going to take a ton of damage from that. It's literally blowing my mind. Like that card did not have, or like, how are you gaining? Are you gaining action points because of Death Dealer? I must be losing my gourd right now. That's crazy. This is going to definitely kill me. So, yeah. Wow. Good game. That was crazy. I just genuinely am so confused how this happened. Because you have... This gave this go again, or this gave the snapshot go again, which then allowed them to play Death Dealer again, which had go again. But this didn't have go again. Maybe I just don't know what Lexi does. I'm sure if this is like action point generation or something of the sort, but I'm not seeing anything in the deck that allows you to kind of do that. Activate abilities suppose you control an additional time this turn as though they were an instant. Oh, you know what? That's it. It's because they were an instant. So they are getting action point generation off of the Death Dealer. Effectively, they are coming in for that damage, and then they are activating Death Dealer, getting an action point back, and since they already had go again initially, getting that value. So that is... Puffin definitely did not do what she was supposed to do. Obviously, we're playing a very different deck comparatively, but I think if we did have less copper cogs in the deck, this probably would have been good. I don't exactly know how the golden cog generation of this deck is definitely not going to be anywhere near as good. I think the reason she does really good in limited is because you have access to Treasure Island, but maybe there's a world in which you can make a lot of gold on this hero and create those golden cogs and start cranking them out. But at least for right now, doesn't seem to be the case in this deck. So let me know if there is anything that you guys would add to our deck list. See if there's anything that might be a little bit more, direct with its build. If there's some cards that maybe I took out, maybe I'm running too many copper cogs. Maybe it's just the fact I'm running copper cogs. Let me know. I'd be more than happy to hear from you. But if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to go ahead and like it, subscribe to the channel while you're at it there, and then always remember to have fun in the flesh and blood. And I will see all of you beautiful Ashwings in our next video.